Good morning, my name is Luke Kennedy and I'm happy to be here for Learning at Home TV. Coming up in English, we'll learn about reasons to try and convince others to agree with us. In maths, we'll investigate thirds, sixths and ninths using flexible groupings of collections, and our theme for science is Earth. So get comfortable and get your thinking caps on and let's get ready to learn. How persuasive can you be? Let's explore what it means to persuade and how persuasive language and techniques are used in advertising.
Hello. One of the reasons we communicate is to try and convince others to agree with us and our ideas. Have you ever tried to convince your parents to let you stay up later than usual? That requires the power to persuade. And rather than learn to become a hypnotist, there are clever ways we can use language to persuade. To persuade someone means to convince or influence them to agree with your point of view. Sometimes that can even mean changing someone's mind about something. Can you think of a situation where you've tried to persuade someone to agree with you? Maybe you've tried to convince your family to have your favourite meal for dinner, or even to get a pet. How good are your powers of persuasion? What tricks do you use? Now, I know some of the usual tricks: to beg and plead and ask over and over and over, please, please, please. And I know some people can be demanding and maybe even throw a tantrum to try and get what they want. And some really clever people know to ask politely and give a reason for why they should get what they want. Now, persuasion doesn't have to just be about getting something you want. It can be also about trying to convince someone to agree with you about something you feel strongly about, like recycling rubbish or not using too much water. Again, demands and tantrums usually don't work with this type of persuasion. You have to be more thoughtful about how you present your ideas. Persuasive language can be used to try and convince others to accept your point of view. The language can be commands like trust me or do it, exaggeration, which means to overstate the truth, and they can be facts and reasons which make you sound logical and trustworthy. Noun groups are another handy trick to help persuade. Noun groups usually consist of a noun, which is a naming word, an article like the, a or an, and one or more adjectives that give more information about the noun. For example, can I please have a delicious double-layer chocolate cake for my birthday? That noun group makes me want to have that cake already. But seriously, you could also be talking about an issue such as recycling rubbish using a compelling noun group like an important, worthy cause to convince someone of your point of view. Of course, it's not just what you say to persuade, it's how you say it. And believe me, tone is everything when trying to appeal to your audience. Tone indicates the speaker or writer's attitude toward or feelings about the subject matter and audience. You can try to be flattering or sympathetic, which often works better than being aggressive or a nag. You can try using a neutral or detached tone to show that you don't mind either way. But you are more likely to be effective if you're passionate and enthusiastic about what you're saying. Now remember, you can use language to persuade, but so can everyone else. And it's good to be able to tell when someone is trying to persuade you. You know what is very good at persuading? Advertising. It uses loads of persuasive language as well as other techniques to persuade you to buy something. Audio and visual techniques make the products more appealing through music, slogans, colour, graphics, logos, characters, camera angles, layout and image placement. Yes, already I am thinking of how advertising uses commands like buy now, collect them all and rush out and get yours today. They exaggerate too, don't they? Things like the world's best or 1,000,000 times faster than its competitors. And facts, whether they are true or not, like 99% of people tested found an improvement or 5 times less fat. And noun groups like the new and improved model. Advertising, you play a very persuasive game. Think of all the different cereal boxes in the supermarket, each one trying to win your purchase. Come to think of it, lots of cereals look bright and exciting with cartoon characters on the front. They seem to be aimed at children. Why do you think this might be? Perhaps it's because advertisers hope that children will be drawn to the box and then use their persuasive language to convince their parents to buy it. Tricky. Anyway, let's have a look at a cereal package and identify some of the persuasive techniques used on it. Okay, this looks nice and sunny, don't you think? We've got lots of yellows and oranges and greens, a tractor in a field, and this happy-looking sun character waving out at us. That's quite appealing for a morning meal, I must say. I can imagine it sitting on my kitchen table already. So what is the cereal called? The product name seems to be Dawn Breaks Fibre Flakes. That's a good use of rhyme, isn't it? Catchy. And it uses alliteration in fibre flakes. Nice. Remember, alliteration uses the same letter or sound at the beginning of words that are closely connected. Fibre flakes. Around the product name is a slogan, wake up to dawn breaks fibre flakes. So now we've got 3 rhyming words, wake, break and flake. See what the advertisers did there? Now, even without the catchy rhyme, I am not going to forget this name of the product because it is repeated all over the box. I can see it at least once on every side. Same as our sun character, I'm going to call them Dawn. It's easy to see why Dawn is the character for this cereal, the sun rising, dawn breaking and so on, but also from the image of the cereal in the bowl, which takes up about half of the front, by the way, we can see that the flakes are the shape of a sun too. So now we're making a connection about how cute Dawn is and how desirable the food is going to be. Clever. There are a bunch of facts on the package like 100% natural, whatever that means, low in salt, high in fibre, and a section on the back about nutrition linked to actual research and what's really in the product. That's right, just above the yummy biscuit recipe. So what about commands? This is where you need to read the fine print, but trust me, there are commands on the back of this pack. The first is see our website, and the rest are at the bottom of the packet where it tells you collect, cut out and send in 5 bag tokens to receive an environmentally friendly bag. They also command you to be quick and help save the planet. You know what else this promotion is doing? You're being encouraged to not only buy 1 packet of Dawn Breaks, but 5. Cha-ching! I wonder how this cereal package competes with the others. What do you think? And remember, for quick and effective persuasion, you too can use these techniques. Now, have a look at some of the packaging on other food items in your kitchen. Do they use persuasive features as well, like commands, exaggeration, noun groups, rhyme and alliteration, tone and audio-visual techniques? Well, that's it for today. We'll see you next time.
Hi and welcome back. I hope all went well with your English lesson. Now it's time for some mathematics. In this lesson, we'll be working with some special fraction families, thirds, sixths and ninths. We're going to represent these fractions in a few different ways and see how they are related. Here's Linda to get us started.
I have a yummy collection of lollies, 36 of them. I'm going to divide my collection into 3 equal parts. 1 for Nick, 1 for Sam, 1 for me. 1 for Nick, 1 for Sam, 1 for me. You get the idea. 1 for Nick, 1 for Sam, 1 for me. Excellent. I've got 3 equal piles now. Fractions get their names from the number of equal parts that the whole has been divided into. There are 3 equal piles, so I call each pile a third. Now, how many lollies are in each pile? Let's count 1, 2, 4, there's a sneaky one, 6, 8, 10, 12. There's 12 in each pile. Watch how I represent thirds on this strip of paper. So here we are. Here's 1/3, here's another third. I could fold this up and show you that each piece is equal. So 1/3, 1/3, 1/3 together makes one whole. Can you see they're equal? I think 12 lollies is too many for one person, so I'm going to invite some more friends to share my lollies. So 3 more friends are coming. This means I'm going to have to make 6 piles. Right, I'll just get going on that. All right, there's my 6. So many lollies. Okay, so now I've divided my collection into 6 equal piles. Remember, fractions get their name from the number of equal parts that the whole has been divided into. There's 6 equal parts here, so each pile is called a 6th. Now, how many lollies are in each pile? Let's count 1, 2, 4, 6. There's 6 lollies in each pile. Here's a number line where I've represented sixths. So you can see I've got 1/6, another, 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 and another. And 6 sixths all together is the same as one whole. This is a bit of maths magic. All right, I still think 6 lollies is too many. We don't want tooth decay. So I'm going to invite some more friends along. 3 more friends are going to come. So that means I'll need to make 9 equal piles. This might take me a little minute. Okay, so I now have divided my collection into 9 equal piles. You can see there's 9 equal parts, so each part is called a 9th. Now, how many lollies are in each pile? We can count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 lollies in each pile. Now, here's another strip of paper to show you 9ths. I've got 9 9ths here printed on my strip of paper, and together you can see that 9 9ths are exactly the same as one whole. So in each 9th there's 4 lollies, and altogether there's 36 in my collection. So here now we've made a fraction wall from our fraction strips. You can see that the first strip is my whole collection. The next strip is the 3 equal parts that are thirds. The next strip has 6 equal parts, they're the sixths. And finally, the last strip has 9 equal parts, and they're ninths. Can you see that 2 sixths is the same as 1/3? Can you see that 3 ninths are also the same as one of the thirds? So today we explored the relationship between fractions in the thirds, sixths and ninths families. And we represented thirds and sixths and ninths in 2 different ways. Later on today, you might like to practice splitting a collection into thirds, sixths and ninths for yourself. You could try it with a collection of 18 items, such as clothes pegs. Or if you really want a challenge, try it again with a large collection of 54 items. Thanks again for joining me today. I'll see you next time. Bye.
How cool was it learning about partitioning to investigate thirds, sixths and ninths? That will be useful information to share. Kids, it's now time for a special health message.
Hi, I'm Bron Knox and I'm a water polo player. Just like you, I'm stuck at home as well. It's important that we stay healthy and make sure we ensure healthy habits. First thing I like to do is make sure I have a full and healthy diet. That means plenty of fruit, vegetables and grains. I like to pack as much colour on that plate as I possibly can. And of course, drink lots and lots of water. Very important. Next thing I like to do is make sure I look after my hygiene. That means shower every day, brush my teeth. I make sure I put on sunscreen when I'm outside and in the sun. And importantly, I tell someone if I'm not feeling well. I tell my parents that I'm not feeling well so they can look after me. The next thing I like to do is to stay active. I like to be active at least for 1 hour each day, whether it's going out, going for a walk, run, hop, skip, jump, dance, doesn't matter. Have fun, do whatever you want. Invent a game. For me, I like to play handball against the wall. Keeps it fun, active. It's not a part of my sport, but it's nice and fun. So I don't know about you, but what did you do today to stay healthy? What can we do better tomorrow? Let's sit down and make a plan. That's it from me. See you later.
Hi and welcome back. Let's get into some science. In this lesson called Spinning Earth, we're going to explore how day and night occur. Here's Jen with more.
Take a moment to think about where the sun is at this very instant in the sky. Each day we can see the sun appearing to rise in the east, move across our sky and set in the west. And at night time we cannot see the sun at all. Think about how this pattern of day and night shapes our daily routines. For example, we sleep during the night, wake up and have breakfast in the morning, and carry out different activities during the day. Dawn and dusk are special times of the day, especially if you like taking photographs. This pattern of day and night is important for our everyday lives. But why does the sun's position in the sky appear to change? Why can we see the sun during the day but not at night? To answer these questions, we need to explore Earth's rotation. Remember, we have learned that Earth rotates on its axis, an invisible line that runs through the centre of the Earth. In fact, the Earth rotates in an anti-clockwise direction, and the axis is actually tilted by a small angle from the vertical. It is thought that a long time ago, something big, like an ancient planet, hit Earth, knocking its position in space. So, instead of Earth rotating on a vertical axis, its axis is tilted. And this is why our globes are shown on a slight angle. So, how does Earth's rotation in space affect our view of the sun? Let's carry out a small investigation to find out. Our observation was that sometimes we can see the sun, and at other times we can't. Based on this, and the fact that Earth rotates on its axis, we can predict that the sun's position in the sky changes as the Earth rotates in space. For this investigation, we will be using a globe, torch, and blue tack to model the relationship between the sun and the Earth. Let's start by identifying where we are on Earth. The blue tack will be our marker for Queensland, and the torch will represent the light from the sun that reaches the Earth. So at the moment, the sun is currently shining on the blue tack. Let's observe what happens when the Earth rotates. Remember, Earth rotates in an anti-clockwise direction. And so as it's spinning, we can see that countries are moving into and out of the sun's light. And now the blue tack is back in the sun's light. That is one full rotation. Did you see how sometimes the blue tack pointed towards the light and at other times it pointed away? The side of the Earth that faces the sun is bathed in light and heat, and this is called daytime. The side of the Earth that faces away is darker and cooler, and it experiences nighttime. Did you also notice that I didn't move the torch? This is because the sun's position in space does not move. So, even though the sun appears to move across our sky, it is really the Earth rotating on its axis which changes our view of the sun. So, from this investigation, we can conclude that our prediction was correct. Day and night are caused by the Earth's rotation on its axis. Earth takes 24 hours to complete one rotation. Generally, Earth experiences 12 hours of daytime and 12 hours of nighttime. At some times of the year, though, we experience more hours of daylight, and at other times, we experience fewer. Also, the Earth is always spinning at the same pace, so we are able to experience the regular day and night patterns in our everyday lives. But the Earth is moving in more ways than one. The Earth not only rotates on its axis, it also moves around the Sun in an orbit. We can show both types of Earth's movement, rotation and orbit, in space using a model. A model helps us to understand things we can't easily see. The Sun and the Earth that we are about to see are not the correct size or distance apart, but they will help us to show the movement of Earth. This table will represent our solar system, and at the center of the system is our Sun. This mini globe will represent Earth, and we already know that Earth rotates in an anti-clockwise direction. So as Earth rotates, it also moves around the Sun in an orbit, which is in an anti-clockwise direction as well. So in this model, we can see how the Earth orbits the Sun and rotates on its axis at the same time. Remember, it takes Earth 1 whole year to complete one orbit or revolution around the Sun. In that year, Earth will also rotate on its axis 365 times. That is 365 days and 365 nights. Scientists can also represent scientific phenomena using scientific diagram. This scientific diagram shows the orbit of the Earth. Notice the diagram is not shaded, but it has nice clear lines and labels for each feature. We can see that the Earth and the Sun are clearly identified, and the orbit has been drawn using arrows to show its anti-clockwise direction. We can also show the Earth's axis by drawing a single line through the center of the Earth. It is important to represent the tilt of the Earth by drawing the axis slightly off-center. Okay, let's recap what we've learnt today. We now know that models and scientific diagrams are important ways of representing scientific phenomena like day and night. Earth's rotation on its axis causes day and night, and the Earth also orbits or revolves around the Sun. Now it's your turn. This afternoon, you might like to create your own model of the Earth's movement in space using a torch and 2 spherical objects, and teach your family about day and night. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
My name is Coronavirus, but you can call me COVID-19. I'm traveling the world right now. You might have heard of me. Breaking news! COVID-19 going viral! I'm a virus. Some of my friends have the common cold and flu. If you catch me, I can make you feel like this.
Right, hard to breathe.
But I don't last long, and most kids get better quickly. I'll be off now. You can help stop me spreading. Learn how. Tip 1. Regularly wash your hands with soap and water for 20 seconds. Tip 2. Don't get too close to other people, including your friends. Tip 3. Cover your coughs and sneezes with a tissue or your elbow. Achoo! Tip 4. If you feel sick, tell your parents straight away. If you're worried about me, that's okay. Talk to your parents, carer, or family. Doctors are working hard to stop me. Make sure to follow instructions and we'll get through this together.
You've all been concentrating so well, so now it's time for a brain break. Are you ready for some exercise? We can all move our bodies, and while you swing your arms and legs, I'll be walking out the door because that's it from me today. Victoria will be arriving soon. Hope you've enjoyed your learning.
Hi kids, my name's Taylor Worth. I'm an Australian Olympic archer and I'm here to get you ready to start some football drills. So what we're going to do is going to do a modified burpee. So we're going to start jogging on the spot, and then we're going to drop down on our hands, and then we're going to push back up and we're going to start again. So we're going to run on the spot, we're going to jump all the way down, and we're going to push back up. Great job guys, let's keep going. Running on the spot, jump down, and push back up. Well done, doing great. So the next activity we're going to do is we're going to jump down and do a plank. So you want to put your hands underneath your shoulders and you want to put a nice straight line between your shoulders, your hips and your ankles. Now we're going to hold that and 3, 2, 1 and back up. Great job everyone, let's keep going. Our next one is to simulate a tackle or a grapple. So we're going to jump out to the side and we're going to reach. And we're going to come back in and we're going to jump out to the other side and we're going to reach. All right, we're going to do that one more time. Jump out to the side and reach, and jump out to the other side and reach again. Great job, everyone. All right, hope you got active today, guys. Hope you enjoy the exercises, and I'll see you in the next one.